The Marvel Cinematic Universe is filled with mind-blowing camera work and staggering visual effects, but there are a handful of particularly powerful shots that truly stand out as being some of the most ambitious and successful ones in the entire superhero extravaganza to date. Let's take a look at some of the Marvel movie shots that have helped to define the franchise. Always angry. The Avengers' first true assembly scene marked the exact moment the MCU became the cinematic juggernaut its architects always knew it would be.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry.
Banner's transformation is a direct lead-in to the squad finally taking shape, after 5 movies worth of build-up, to battle what is arguably still the most compelling villain of the MCU, Loki. When people think back to the Avengers, they think about this shot and the bevy of amazing scenes that follow it. Passenger Patrol. Iron Man 3's entire Air Force One rescue scene is downright incredible, so narrowing it down to a single shot was tough. While there are several examples of stunning cinematography on display in the scene, one narrowly rises above the competition. It's the shot of Iron Man dashing down from a destroyed Air Force One to save its entire crew, immediately after being told by Jarvis that carrying them all would be an impossibility. From a visual imagery perspective, the shot contains all the necessary elements: a smoking Air Force One in the distance, a crew of people screaming and flailing mid-freefall, and a tiny gold and red speck rocketing towards them to save the day. This shot does an impeccable job of conveying the stakes of the situation before Iron Man defies all odds once again with another stroke of brilliance.
Excellent. Good team effort all around. Go us.
Guardians Gather. With Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn crafted an action film that had heart and wit, and the shot of the group getting together to form their own mini-Avengers pack was so very satisfying. The slow-mo dolly shot that aligns this new, unusual gang of heroes is as spectacular as it is subversive, with each of the 5 looking annoyed or bored, or in the case of Rocket Raccoon, tugging on a suit too tight around his junk. Its gritty lighting and muted colors in an otherwise colorful outer space world gives us the sense our heroes are walking toward their doom, and considering a couple of them are yawning, they're obviously not too busted up about it. That tracking shot. Considering how exhilarating the first Avengers big tracking shot was, it's no surprise that Joss Whedon opted to double dip and reuse the technique for the opening of Age of Ultron. Here, he takes the idea to its logical extremes, reserving the whole first minute of the film for a non-stop assault on the senses. The camera moves at a rip-roaring pace, reintroducing you to each Avenger and the abilities they bring to the team. It's a near-perfect blend of pure spectacle and unspoken character descriptions. And as an icing on the cake, the shot even finishes with the whole team assembled, striking a pose together in mid-air that pays homage to a number of comic covers. It's the ideal way to open up an Avengers movie and gets the audience ready for 2 hours of high-octane, over-the-top action. The Big Punch. The Hulk vs. Hulkbuster fight instantly became one of the most anticipated MCU throwdowns of all time, and the hype was certainly well warranted. The shot that really captures the most epic moment is when the upper hand flip-flops back and forth between Hulk and Iron Man in his Hulkbuster suit. The ultimate stalemate is reached when Green Fist meets Robot Fist, creating a blast wave that breaks glass and sends people flying. It's as intense as punches come, and is captured at an extra wide angle that really helps translate the enormity of the two titans. Not only is it a very cool shot on a technical level, but for Marvel fans it's just an amazing sight to see Hulk and Iron Man going at it on the big screen. Pistol Hop. Maybe it's the kinetic energy of the camera sweeping beside Ant-Man that makes the moment so special, but the shot of the title character running on the surface of a gun, immediately dodging its bullet at literal point-blank range is superb. It's that brand of absurdity that perfectly summarizes why the shot works. It revels in its craziness while also giving Scott Lang the heroic framing he deserves, however small that might be. Civil War. As a tribute to Captain America Civil War source material, the climactic wide shot of Cap fighting Iron Man is ripped directly from the comics. In the scene, Cap charges at Stark, deflecting each and every repulsor blast with his shield until the two foes are inches apart. Then the world slows to a crawl, isolating the visually stunning moment when Iron Man unleashes one final repulsor blast directly onto the surface of Cap's shield. The blast reflects off it and blazes to life, filling the screen with a light that could only be achieved by the union of this unstoppable force meeting the immovable object. There's no mystery why this shot is the defining image of the film it's representing. It fulfills everything we hoped this movie would be, all within a few frames. Kaecilius' Sling Ring escape. You can tell the director and storyboard artist had a fun time thinking up the various shots in Doctor Strange, and the one that really brings magic to the MCU is Kaecilius' big sling ring escape. The mind-bending shot subliminally reinforces one of Doctor Strange's biggest themes, that everything's just a matter of perspective. The color grading leaves the buildings a dull, desaturated gray divided only by pitch-black shadows, allowing us to perfectly track where the sorcerers are distorting geography and help us focus our attention on the mystical glowing elements. It's also ridiculously busy yet super focused, allowing us to be overwhelmed by the buildings consuming themselves in the background while still letting us remain fully concentrated on Kaecilius' sling ring escape. Ferry save. Last but not least, Spider-Man Homecoming introduced a quintessential hero shot, displaying a protagonist challenging impossible odds head-on in order to save the day. There's nothing quite as epic as seeing the teen hero desperately clutching to his webs to keep this ferry and all of its passengers from drowning. Even though the scene was spoiled in the film's trailers, it still represents the Spider-Man ethos, utter determination even in the absence of hope. This moment reminds us that Spidey is always in it for the greater good, which is why he's one of the greatest heroes. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.